Preparations for King Charles I's coronation are ramping up in London. Tens of thousands of people are expected to descend the capital, with around 10,000 free tickets on offer for Britons to attend the coronation concert. The occasion will be a slimmed-down version of his late mother, Queen Elizabeth II's coronation in 1953. While 8,000 guests attended Elizabeth's, only 2,000 guests will attend Charles' coronation in an official capacity. He is understood to want a diverse congregation to witness the historic event, indicative of his desire to modernize the monarchy. The new king is known to be keen on bringing the royal family into the 21st century while expanding its appeal, in the process leaving behind many archaic traditions and a large family all reliant on the royal purse strings funded by the taxpayer. Not all of his modernizations are solely to do with relieving the public of its royal burden, however. In the run-up to his coronation, it appears that Charles has tossed aside a key royal tradition that generations of his ancestors stuck to. Kings and queens before him lived at the Tower of London between the time of their accession and when they were crowned at Westminster Abbey. The Tower, a royal palace, has played host to all manner of things in its nearly 1,000-year history. It has been a torture chamber, a royal mint, a zoo, a prison, and a home to royal heads of state. Traditionally, new monarchs would travel from the Tower to Westminster Abbey on the day or evening before their coronation. Preparations here included the creation of the Knights of the Bath, the monarch's special escort for the coronation, where a selection of young squires was ritually bathed before spending the night in prayer. The next day they were dubbed by the new monarch before escorting them as part of the procession. Along the way, the king or queen would be greeted by a series of pageants, theatrical performances on elaborate stages erected in the streets. The last such coronation procession from the Tower of London was Charles II's in 1661. Don't miss. Royals fear they can't tell Harry and Meghan anything, says expert. Report, Andrew accused by ex-MP of trying to worm his way back ahead of Bash. Latest, Eugenie's sweet post proves Sussexes were right to snub royal protocol. Exclusive, if Charles III had followed this rule, it would have seen him live at the Tower from the Queen's death, on September 8, 2022 to May 6, 2023. But just because Charles doesn't follow the same tradition doesn't mean that the royal is ignorant of the Tower and its significance. In October last year, Charles came out in support of excavations inside the Tower to get to the bottom of the Princes in the Tower mystery. The mystery goes like this: soon-to-be King Edward V and his brother Richard, Duke of York, the sons of Edward IV and his queen, Elizabeth Woodville, were lodged in the Tower aged 12 and 9 respectively by their paternal uncle, Richard III. Their move was carried out in order to prepare Edward for his forthcoming coronation after his father died in 1483. Yet, before the young king could be crowned, he and his brother were deemed illegitimate, with Richard instead ascending the throne. No one knows what happened to the boys, but it is generally believed they were murdered by their uncle and buried in the Tower. Archaeologists have previously requested permission to dig up royal crypts, but reports suggest the Church of England, Co., and the late Queen refused their request. Charles, however, is said to be more open-minded about the research. A history, archaeology and anthropology graduate himself, he is believed to support the testing of any remains found by researchers to answer the age-old question. The new king lives a few miles from the Tower of London at Buckingham Palace, the royal family's largest residence with 775 rooms. Just days after the Queen's death, he and Camilla, the Queen consort, held their first audience at the palace in its glamorous 1844 room. It will be the base from which they conduct many of their royal duties, although Charles is known to have a soft spot for his Clarence House residence, in London, and Highgrove House in Gloucestershire.